Davan, Mathura Vas, and listening to the Shrimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Shravana. And the sacred scriptures and the acharyas explain that a little attachment to one of these 5 forms of bhakti can bring even a neophyte, a new person, to the level of Bhava Bhakti, pure consciousness and divine emotion. So it is very important, like all these practices we do in the temples of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We learn them from His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and also from his disciples who taught us how to do these things. And these activities are bringing us to experience Paramdritsvani Vartate, a higher taste, a higher taste in life. Different from the ordinary taste of the enjoyment of the senses. It's available even to animals, so it is not such a big thing. So even if we human beings try to do it in sophisticated ways, but eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, these activities the animals also do. So it's not such a big thing. Like nowadays they are in the media, we're hearing about weapons, isn't it? I know Europe is investing in weapons. All the politicians are boasting, we need to invest in weapons to protect ourselves. And Russia is investing in weapons, and China, they're doing like a race, weaponry race. This is more or less like children, when children play in school. I don't know in India if you do these things, but maybe you do, because I have seen some, also when I go to India, some Indians doing sports. Indians go to gym also, isn't it? And as children, what we were doing, try to show biceps to my friend. The other child comes. So now comes this politician, big weapon. Then next politician, bigger weapon. Now China is going to beat the US, yes. Like that, and continue. No, US, make America big again. Isn't it? It's crazy, but it's like that. And we become proud of this, and it's like crazy, like becoming proud of what? Of making people afraid? Is that human culture? That's even worse than animal culture. Animal, they have their boundaries. They attack for eating. There may be occasional animals cruel, but they're less cruel than human beings when human beings become degraded. So if human beings do not come to the level of using the form of life for higher consciousness, for Krishna consciousness, basically we are worse than animals. So these devotional activities, Panchanga Bhakti, bring us back to our original consciousness, Smriti, to remember who we are. We are eternal souls. We have a loving relationship with Krishna, Param Satyam, the Supreme Truth. And Krishna is waiting for us with loving, open arms. He is welcoming us. Please come. See, Lord Yadunandana, He has the arms for you. Come. I want to embrace you all. I'm the Lord of the universe. So, this is important. So, listening to Shrimad Bhagavatam is very important. Will bring us to Krishna consciousness, to our original consciousness, which Vismriti we have forgotten. The Bhagavatam states in different parts, Vismriti, we have, Smriti means to remember, Vismriti means to forget. So that's the condition of we lost souls in the material world. We're just going back and forth. Sometimes I think I'm accustomed to preaching in Spanish lately, so I think in Spanish. So anyway, there is dando tumbos. ¿Cómo se dice? Dando tumbos. ¿Cómo es dando tumbos en inglés?
Which is meaning? No sé. ¿Cómo es?
Dando tumbos. ¿Cómo es en inglés? Dar tumbos. ¿Cómo es en inglés? Anyway, going back and forth. This is a Spanish expression. Going like, this is weird. Lost souls. Like when an airplane, I read recently there was an airplane from Japan, in Japan, you may have read, went 8 kilometers down. And luckily, by Krishna's grace, the pilot could manage, but people got really scared. Can you imagine? 8 kilometers down. So this is what we do in the material world. We are like going down. So the Shrimad Bhagavatam brings us back to remember Krishna, Smriti, Krishna Smriti, Anu Smriti, to remember according to higher authorities, the Vaishnavas. So we are in second canto of the Shrimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 6, which is entitled Purusha Sukta Confirmed. And we are in text number 5. Romani udvija jatinam Yairva yajnastu sambritaha Keshasmashruna kanyasya Shila loha pravityutam Romani udvija jatinam Yairva yajnastu sambritaha Keshasmashruna kanyasya Shila loha pravityutam Romani udvija jatinam Yairva yajnastu sambritaha Keshasmashruna kanyasya Shila loha pravityutam You like to sing?
Romani udvija jatinam Yaiva yajnastu sambritaha Keshasmashruna kanyasya Shila Shilalobha vidyuttam.
Shilalobhavidyutam.
Romanyudvija jatinam.
Romanyudvija jatinam.
Yaiva yajnastu samvishta.
Yaiva yajnastu samvrita.
Kishasmasru nakanyasya.
Keshasmasru nakanyasya.
Shilalobha vidyutam.
Shilalobhavidyutam. Anyone else? Matajis can sing also, they like.
Romani udbija jatinam.
Romani udbija jatinam.
Yeva yagnastu samvrita.
Yaiva yajnastu samvrita.
Keshasmasru nakanyasya.
Keshasmasru nakanyasya.
Shilalobha vidyuttam.
Shilalobhavidyutam. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Romani, hairs on the body. Udbija, vegetables. Jatinam, of the kingdoms. Yai, by which. Va, either. Yajna, sacrifices. To, but. Sambritaha, particularly serve. Kesha, hairs on the head. Smashru, facial hair. Nakani, nails. Asya, of him. Shila, stones. Loha, iron ores. Abra, clouds. Vidyutam, electricity. So this is being spoken by Lord Brahma. He is the creator of the universe, and he knows about how the universe is made. And also he, later on in later chapters of this canto, will be described how Brahma was initiated by Krishna and how he learned the Shrimad Bhagavatam in 4 verses. So Brahma here is speaking to his son and also student, the sage Narada Muni, and he's speaking about the universal form, how the Lord has a universal form. In this second canto there are like 4 different descriptions of the universal form. This is one of them. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones, and iron ores. Purport. The polished nails of the Lord generate electricity, and the clouds rest on the hairs of his head. One can therefore collect all sorts of necessities of life from the person of the Lord, and therefore the Vedas affirm that everything that is produced is caused by the Lord. The Lord is the supreme cause of all causes. Romani utbija jatinam yairva yajñas tu sambritaha keshas mashru nakanyasya shilalo hapra vidyutam. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones, and iron ores. Srila Jiva Goswami, one of the main commentators of the Shrimad Bhagavatam in our line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has explained that the Shrimad Bhagavatam is the Pratiniti Rupa of Krishna. That means it is identical to Krishna. Krishna and the message of the Shrimad Bhagavatam, these verses, this transcendental song, are one and the same. Krishna's self-image, like also the deity of the Lord in the temple, the Sri Murti, is Krishna's direct form. There is no difference. It's Krishna himself, who very kindly comes to us to give us mercy, to welcome us. Because we are not able to see him, then Krishna very kindly comes in the form of Sri Murti, so that we can see him with our present senses and gradually wake up to our original senses. So similarly, Krishna comes in the form of transcendental song. All the narratives about Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, these narratives are non-different from Krishna. And the Padma Purana compares the different cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam to the transcendental limbs of Krishna's body. So the first two cantos, we're in the second canto, these are Krishna's lotus feet. So at the moment we are now looking or connecting to Krishna's lotus feet through the ears. And in order to connect to Krishna's, to be able to approach Krishna and to look to Krishna's face in an appropriate manner, we need to first surrender to his lotus feet. Because we conditioned souls are very proud. And we are very proud, and we think, oh yeah, Krishna, who are you? I'm better than you. Isn't it? That's the mindset. Even if we may do it in different ways, sophisticated ways, but we are very, very proud. It doesn't matter if we are born in Germany, in Spain, in India, in China, in US, Russia. We are all proud people. And that's why we fight. We fight because we, basically what's the fighting about? I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. Isn't it? And then there is fight. And the fight can be with the body, can be with the intellect. Scholars may fight in more sophisticated ways. No, I have 3 PhDs. Not one PhD, I have 3. And I'm working on the 4th PhD. I'm a professor in such and such university. Isn't it? What's the main university in Germany? What will you say?
Humboldt.
Humboldt?
Humboldt. Humboldt.
Humboldt. Sorry.
That's the name of a,
That's the name of the university.
yeah, that's the name of a person. The university is named
And it's very
after.
prestigious.
Yeah.
Where is it located? Is it here in Berlin? Yeah. Any PhDs from Humboldt? Anyway, so we like that. We like in England, Oxford University, or in Belgium, Leuven University. In Spain, now it's not so famous anymore, but used to be Salamanca University in the past, ancient university. Now everything is changing. In India, it's Indian Institute of Technology, isn't it? Yes. IIT. I remember I visited once in Kanpur. There is one devotee, Lila Purushottama Prabhu. He is a professor there, and he took me and gathered some students, and it was very nice. I mean, in India, an advantage, those of you who are from India have an advantage that you have a very good cultural, spiritual roots. So you can draw directly from your ancestors and from the acharyas. But of course, that doesn't mean you cannot take it for granted. Like, for instance, Srila Prabhupada was preaching in India, and then not so many youth from India were joining him. And then he traveled to America, and all the youth, and then to Europe, here in Germany. Germany and UK were the first 2 places in Europe where Prabhupada came. And many young boys and girls were joining. And Srila Prabhupada went to India with his Western disciples to teach the Indians how to do things. Basically, he was saying, you people, what are you doing? You have your culture, you are not following, and all these Westerners come and they are doing it. Wake up. And then there is instruction that for every follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and starting with India, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in India, but of course that extends to all of us who were not born in India, who may have been Indians in previous lifetimes, and then we may have been sent to the West for preaching. Srila Prabhupada wrote that in some of his letters in the beginning to disciples. It doesn't really matter where we are from. We are from the spiritual world. But anyway, that instruction is given. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stated, Bharata Bhumite Hoila Manusya Janmayar, Chama Shartaka Kori Kara Para Upakar. That those who are born in Bharata, in India, have the duty to do welfare activities, Para Upakar. And welfare activities by spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, by sharing the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Shrimad Bhagavatam. So that's the main mission of life. That's the ultimate technology. The other technology is, okay, we're using this technology of earthly beings very grossly entangled to the material world. Okay, well, yeah, we know how all the chains work, like we are confirmed. We are, all the chains work.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We are prisoners of this material world, like with chains. So technology is like knowing about the chains, which is fine. We need to know in this world, but we need to know more beyond these chains. So the first two cantos of Shrimad Bhagavatam teach us to approach Krishna starting from his lotus feet. And that means that we need to learn first about the material universe before going to the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, where the spiritual world is described, and Krishna's intimate relationships with his devotees in Vrindavan, in Mathura, in Dwarka. Before going to the 10th canto, we need to go through the other cantos. And we need to start knowing Krishna in this world. And therefore the universal form is described. The universal form has been described as the first step in God realization. So if we don't see God in this world, we have to learn to see God in this world. So basically the material world is also spiritual because it is Krishna's energies. So in that sense it is spiritual. The Upanishads state, Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma. Everything that exists is Brahman. Everything that exists is a manifestation of God, the Supreme. And Krishna in chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita refers to the material universe as the Mahat Brahma, the great Brahman. So it's God manifesting in this universe. But we, forgetful souls, are not seeing Krishna, generally speaking, I'm speaking in general, are not seeing Krishna in the material universe. Generally we see objects for our enjoyment, like children do with toys. Isn't it? Those of you who have children know that sometimes children fight over toys. And what do they say?
That's mine.
That's mine. It's mine. No, it's mine. And they start fighting. And then the parents have to go there. No, share it, and teach higher values to the children. But this is the conditioning of the conditioned soul, I and mine. So we don't see Krishna in this world, and this is due to avidya. The Vishnu Purana states, avidya karma samgyanya. Ignorance, avidya, produces karma, entanglement in material activity. A material activity basically means activity bound by ahankara. Ahankara and karma are basically synonymous terms. In different contexts, ahankara is the false ego, and it means ahamkara. Aham, I, kara. I am the doer. I am in charge of what happens in life. And karma is the same, kara, ma. Kara, do, ma, I'm doing. It's the same. One is in consciousness, ahankara, and the other is in behavior, karma. attitude and behavior, but the same principle of thinking that we are in control of this life, when we are basically instruments. We are energy of Krishna, and we are meant to surrender to Krishna and to let Krishna work through us. Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin, Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 11. Just become an instrument. I have done everything. You don't have to, you're a warrior, you don't have to kill anybody. I have killed. I have shown you. When I have shown you the universal form, all the warriors have been destroyed. You are just my instrument. Become an instrument in this fight. So similarly, we need to see ourselves as Krishna's instruments. According to our dharma, to our svadharma in life, let's become Krishna's instruments. And to do something good as an offering to him, and also as an offering for the benefit of the world. Para upakara. To help others to come close to Krishna. This is the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. So here in these verses we are learning, in today's verse we heard from Srila Prabhupada, that these descriptions of the universal form shows that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Sarva karana karanam. So whatever we have it because Krishna is giving to us. We have in this present identity, embodied identity, we have nails because Krishna has nails. We have hair because Krishna has hair. So everything we have is coming from Krishna. And through Krishna's lotus feet, the second canto, we can come by seeing Krishna in this universe. So by starting to see Krishna in the world of avidya, of ignorance, then we wake up. And then when we see Krishna, when we meditate on him, for instance, by following this way of remembrance, to see that the nails of the Lord are the source of electricity. This reminded me, no, they say, I don't know if it's true or not, because what they say in the media, you don't know if it's real or it's cheating. You don't know. Isn't it? It's the world of the cheaters and the cheated. So from what they say, how much is true, how much is not true. Even the amount of weapons they say they have. We don't know. Maybe just a fake. And we don't know. They may have more, they may have less. Isn't it? Because generally, people in this world are accustomed to cheat, especially in Kali Yuga. So whatever we are told, we don't really know. But now they are speaking there was this. They were saying, Mr. Trump. Some of you may have heard. I don't want to contaminate your mind, but since you may have heard, I'm referring, so that is relevant. Mr. Trump was fighting with Ukraine. He made a deal with Mr. Zelensky, so they say, about, I don't know in English, tierras raras. But tierras raras, which means rare land. They were saying that was a term, rare land, where there were some different types of minerals that they are using for all these devices. And all this is becoming like a wealth, like all this, whatever, cobalto, I don't know the names in English, cobalt and all these different minerals and and then they were making business about that. So when hearing about this is coming, these are the nails of Krishna. That's what it's saying. Krishna's universal form. Like the nails produce electricity and all these different, allow us to do all these electronics. This is coming from the nails of the universal form of Krishna, which is in one way sometimes it is described as a kalpayanti, a form for material meditation. We use imagination to see Krishna's personality in matter. So we transfer ourselves from matter, from material consciousness, to Krishna consciousness by seeing everything that is produced by ignorance, the material objects, by seeing them in relation to Krishna as a person. So therefore we approach Krishna's lotus feet in this way. We start from the bottom and we go gradually up. And the main teaching here is to remember that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So whatever happens, ultimately Krishna is behind. And Krishna is, his transcendental body is Shuddha Sattva. That means he is pure goodness. That means that in the back, whatever Krishna does is for our benefit. Ultimately, we may not understand when something bad happens in this world, but ultimately Krishna is there and he is waiting for us to wake us up. And he is going to give us bliss. He will give us transcendental happiness. That's what he's offering us. But due to ignorance, like the child who doesn't want to eat, sometimes children don't want to eat. They want only to play, right? All day playing. But the mother and the father, they say, no, you have to eat. It's important you eat. Otherwise you get ill. So similarly, Krishna, he wants us to eat this transcendental bliss, this ananda of connecting with him. So this is a very important principle, and these descriptions are meant for us to remember that Krishna is the cause of all causes, the source of everything. Adir Govinda. Govinda is the origin. Anadir. There is no other origin. Only Krishna is the origin. And Krishna has the best for us and wants the best for us. Of course, it's up to us whether we accept what he offers or not. If we accept, we get one result. If we do not accept, we get a different result. Very, very different, actually. If we accept Krishna, we get unlimited transcendental happiness. If we reject Krishna's offer, then we get more and more suffering. And we shouldn't blame Krishna of our suffering. Oh, you are the cause of all causes. No, I'm suffering. It's you. You are to be blamed. No, Krishna is offering us the best, but then we reject and then we get suffering. It's like if we go to the basement, we hide in a basement, then we do not get the sunshine. We cannot blame the sun that is not coming to the basement. We are choosing to go to the cave, to the basement. I'll read again the verse, and then we can have any questions or comments you have, you can ask. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones, even the red stones, and iron ores. Any questions or comments you want to ask or make?
I want to ask, you mentioned that in chapter second, not chapter but canto second, there are 4 times explained the universal form. So do you know in which chapters?
We can look at it in the first chapter. We have it. First chapter. It's one part. Here is another one. Let me see. I think it was. Then in the end there is another one.
So first 6. This was 6th chapter.
Chapter 6, and it's entitled Purusha Sukta Confirmed. Purusha Sukta is the famous stuti, prayer, Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapad, describing the Mahapurusha, or Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And the universal form is described as we have the physical body. We are an eternal soul. We have a physical body. So, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, the Mahapurusha, with thousands of heads, arms, legs, and so on, has his universal body. So all the senses existing in the universe belong to him. Even our senses are not ours. They are borrowed. They belong to him. And we got them by his grace. And we're able to enjoy the senses by his grace, his providing. So chapter 1, chapter 6, chapter 10, I think is also.
5 at the end.
And 5 at the end, right? So, yes. Yes, thank you. So 5 also in the end. So it's very, some devotees, they want to go quickly. So this is to come always about the universe. It's too technical, isn't it?
Yes,
But actually we shouldn't go quickly. It's there for a purpose. We should meditate on what's the meaning for us. What's in it for me? Because we are very entangled in matter, in the material body. So we need to hear how Krishna is present in the universe, so that whenever we are here in this world, we remember Krishna. We remember that He is providing for us. Nityo nityanam chetananam ekobahunam yovidadati kaman. That the one supreme eternal is providing everything, all the needs to all the eternal beings. So all the material needs and the spiritual needs. So at the very least, we should be grateful at the very least. Even if we are still thinking that enjoying matter is very good, which is not a very good idea, but still, if we can choose, we know the world is freedom, right? And that freedom is coming from Krishna. We can choose to think like that. If we think like that, still we should be grateful that Krishna is providing whatever we need to enjoy matter. And at least say thank you, Krishna. Anyway, you are here because you are saying thank you to Krishna, otherwise you won't come to the temple. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So it is said that the universal form is spiritual, and also today's shloka says that the minerals, like you said, cobalto, is spiritual, or is compared with his nails. But then also cobalto is something material. So how to understand? So in which sense it's material, and in which sense it's spiritual?
Yeah, good question. Yes, when we say that it's a spiritual, we mean that it is Krishna's energy, and from Krishna's viewpoint, everything is his energy. I mean, it's himself, and Krishna is everything and everyone. Krishna is expanding himself. Eko bahu syam. I am one. I will become many. And this is why become many. Anandamayo vyasat, Vedanta Sutta states, in order to increase pleasure, to increase bliss, ananda, by sharing, by rasa vaisaha, by relationship becomes more, the bliss becomes greater. Like for instance, in the material sense, if someone wants to have a birthday party, will not do it alone, isn't it? Any of you do a birthday party? Happy birthday! No, you want to do it with your friends, with your family, with the people you have a rapport, to connect, and then and share it with others. Invite others to something good. They will have a good time. Prepare a big cake and whatever it is, made big feast, and then it becomes more joyful. So similarly, Krishna expands himself in many amshas. We are also Krishna's amshas, even though we are Anu-amsha, small, infinitesimal. Srila Prabhupada states, Krishna is infinite, we are infinitesimal. And this is meant for relationship, for rasa, for loving exchange. So in that sense, everything is spiritual because it's made for Krishna's service. Also the material energy is meant for his service, ultimately. But the material energy becomes material due to avidya, due to ignorance. And therefore it becomes dark energy. It becomes like Brahman is light, Jyoti, Brahma Jyoti, there is light, but avidya covers the light. And therefore we cannot see the soul, we see only matter. And the grosser the matter it becomes, the more covered it is by avidya, to the point that we do not see the soul. Cobalto, we do not see the soul in cobalto. In a tree, we can see there is life symptom. But in a stone, we do not even see the life symptom. Even though originally, Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma, everything that exists is Brahman. Everything that exists is an expansion of Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman, an expansion of God. And therefore the universal form sometimes is described as a material form because it's meant to help those with material consciousness to start seeing God. By looking to God through matter. And Srila Prabhupada compares also deity worship to the universal form. In one way, Prabhupada compares it in different purpose. Because the deity form is sculpted with physical elements for those of us who are born to see only physical elements. Then we can see God through the physical elements. So Krishna is very kind. He comes to us in a very accessible way. Like when a father or a mother, the child is crying, and they come down to the child. Isn't it? Sometimes the child is on the floor, and then the father or the mother goes down, and what happens? So Krishna comes down as Lord Jagannath and to welcome us. So in that sense, it's material, the universal form, because it's manifested temporarily for those of us who are in the material world, and also it is manifested by using the imagination, because in the material world we use the imagination to enjoy. Enjoyment, from sense enjoyment, has a lot to do with imagination, fantasy in the mind. I'll go here, I'll go there, I'll make so much money, I'll do this, do that, isn't it? And I go there, and I don't get what I was imagining, isn't it? Like I remember one time, I was in Malaga in south Spain, doing some preaching, and there was one person, he had gone on holidays, they had robbed, a thief came into the caravan and stole the money, stole different things. So that family had gone to enjoy. Their imagination said, we will go to the beach, we'll have a very good time, eat ice cream in Torremolinos, Marbella, and so many things. And then the money was stolen. So this is the material world. So therefore we are taught to use the imagination to meditate on Krishna. When we see beautiful big mountains, then we remember these are Krishna's bones. When we see the trees, big trees, here in Germany you have big trees. Even in the city of Berlin, big trees, nice city, big trees, big parks. Here, around the corner, there is a nice park, I remember from last year, or chanting japa, very good. So the big trees, then we can remember these are Krishna's hair, as we read today, Krishna's bodily hair. And Krishna is giving, through his hair, is giving us food as well. So much food comes from the trees, all the fruits. So like that, from we can remember Krishna by using the imagination in meditating on the universal form. When we see the sun and the moon, we remember these are Krishna's eyes. And because Krishna sees, we can see. Because the sun is there, Krishna's eyes, we can also see in the material sense. There is a connection between our eyes and Krishna's eyes in the universal form. So in this way we can meditate, both spiritually, remembering that everything is Krishna's energy and meant for his service, and materially by connecting from the level of ignorance, going back to the transcendental meditation by connecting every part of every element in the universe with Krishna's universal body.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I just want to ask sort of a question based on what you just said. Because then, so if we're using our imagination to see the things in this material world as coming from Krishna, does that mean that like, for example, in the verse we're reading, you know, the hairs on his body are the cause of vegetation. Does that mean that they're actually just sort of metaphors that we're using to see Krishna in the world, or are they actually are the hairs of his body actually the vegetation in this world? I don't really.
Sometimes Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, they have explained that this material form, this universal form, is imaginary. But even the metaphors in relation to Krishna are truth, because he is the Param Satyam. And we need metaphors in order to see him, because it's like metaphor is in literature. It's a literary device which is used to explain things in a more profound ways. Like, for instance, when comparing Krishna's eyes, Krishna's are lotus eyes. Krishna's lotus eyes. Why they are lotus eyes? Because they are very beautiful, like the petals of the lotus, and they're very pure. They do not get contaminated. Like the lotus may grow in a place where there may be a muddy place or moist, this green moss. So, and the lotus goes up, very beautiful. So, but still, whatever metaphor we use falls short. Like Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, in his book entitled Madhurya Kadambini, when he meets Krishna, he describes a devotee who meets Krishna at the stage of Krishna Prema, pure love of Godhead. And when he sees Krishna and they embrace Krishna and the devotee, and both faint out of divine emotion. And the devotee starts speaking to Krishna. Krishna, I was thinking I was writing very beautiful poetry by comparing the limbs of your body to the lotus. But now when I see you in person, I realize that whatever poetry I was expressing falls short. And it is like comparing a mountain of gold, the Sumeru mountain, compared to a chickpea. And he's using metaphor to explain Krishna's beauty, because Krishna's qualities are so unlimited that whatever we say, whatever we perceive, always can be improved. Meaning that Krishna can always manifest more beauty, more strength. Krishna can always surprise us. In the material world, we want to be surprised by the person we love, like people, grihastas may have the husband, the wife. Give me a surprise, isn't it? But Krishna is always surprising his devotees, again and again. In the material world, whatever we do, it's not enough surprise. I divorce you, isn't it? You don't give me enough surprises anymore. It's like that, isn't it? And even now Indians are copying the Western so-called acharyas. Start divorcing and so on. So anyway, it's kind of metaphor in relation to Krishna. It's true. He's the Param Satyam. But we can say, yes, comparatively speaking, in the material world, everything is kind of playground. Playground meaning it's not real. It's like when children, they are cooking with the kitchen, when the kids playing kitchen, is that real cooking? They may have even whatever, chapati, pizza, pakora, I don't know. They may have it in plastic, but it's not real. They may imagine we are eating. But the real is what Malati Devi Mataji cooks. Real. First to Jagannath and Narendra Kumar Prabhuji. It's the cook today.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your class. I have a question. You tell us that Krishna's body is from the Shuddha Sattva, yeah? And but for example, I want to tell you about my difficulties. For example, like today, I'm oversleep and I feel like influence of Tamagun is very strong. And of course, this association of Vaishnava is very helpful, but it's not always possible every day. And I try it many times, even if I'm in this condition, I try to chant my round and the mind is still in this position. And what is, some sport is helpful, you criticize, but it's like some activities is very helpful for me. But what is your experience? Maybe can you share how to elevate, if I'm falling down in this position, how to elevate the consciousness?
Yeah, I mean, we elevate by continuous Krishna conscious activities. When we engage our senses, sarvopade vinirmuktam, tatparatvena nirmalam, rishikena rishikesha, sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So, by engaging our senses in the service of Rishikesh, Rishikesh is a name of Krishna, that he is the master of the senses. So when we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, sarvopadi vinirmuktam, we become free from all ignorance, upadi, or labels, false impositions, which come from tamoguna, rajoguna. But we shouldn't be surprised that we have these experiences of tamoguna and rajoguna, because these bodies, earthly bodies, bodies of people in the earth, according to Bhagavad Gita, they are made of primarily of rajoguna and tamoguna. Pure rajoguna means you become like a ruler on the earth. A king, a queen, someone ruling. Less than that is rajoguna with tamoguna going down. So it shouldn't surprise us that there will be tendency for these material tendencies, because we are in this vehicle. It's like yesterday, I was traveling all day because they canceled my first flight to Munich, and then they sent me to Belgium. It was funny because I was before living in Bangladesh, so they sent me to Berlin through Brussels. So through the airport, I know Brussels airport is very familiar to me. I know there is a place for different religious communities, have their little places. Still, we don't have a Vaishnava temple there. To get one. I hope soon we will get it. They were doing reparation now in there. So hopefully they will put now a Vaishnava temple there. The Buddhists got recognition for Hinduism in Belgium, so maybe we got the right to be also there. So anyway, So yesterday, after so much traveling, I was feeling tired. Was like, and the body gets sick because the body is made of these material ingredients. So we get the material energy. But then we went to Vanamali and we got the Association of the Devotees and the guests who came, and then we got uplifted. And then we felt less tired. So it's like that. So what we need to do is to engage our senses in devotional service, no matter what. Rajoguna, Tamoguna may be there, but by engaging the senses, we associate with Krishna, and by associating with Krishna, all the Tamoguna and Rajoguna gradually disappear. Or at least go to the back. They are not prominent anymore. They become transformed by Krishna's Shuddha Sattva energy. And Krishna's Shuddha Sattva energy becomes especially manifest through Bhakti. Bhakti is Krishna's Svarup Shakti, his personal energy. Srimati Radharani is in charge. So she's giving this energy. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself with the feelings of the mood Radha Bhava, the mood of Srimati Radharani to uplift us, to bring us to the transcendental platform. So we shouldn't get worried, that's normal. The material world is compared. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, commenting on the 6th canto of the Bhagavatam, Maharaj Chitraketu is speaking after being cursed to become the demon Vritrasura. And because he's a pure devotee, he's speaking transcendentally. He says, okay, I accept whatever curse you're giving me, I accept. Because he is connected to Krishna in a constant way. He's a pure devotee, very advanced. So, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur comments that the material world is like a mine of salt. If you are in a mine of salt, what do you get? Salt. So in the material world, Krishna says, chapter 8, Mamupetya punarjamma dukkalayam ashashvatam. I think they will give you some prasad. Don't go too quickly. You will get some prasad. That's what's happening. Thank you for coming, and please come back. So, Mamupetya punarjamma dukkalayam ashashvatam. So the material world, Krishna says, is a temporary place, and there is dukkha, there is suffering. So if we come to the material world, we are going to get tamogun, rajogun. That's part of the deal. We sign a contract, yes. I come to this material world. I want to be here. I want to be the best. But the little letters say, yeah, there is suffering here. Lots of salt. Okay, I don't know for how long you go, but I think it's already time we have another class. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
His Holiness Yadunandana Maharaj.
Jai. Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Jai.